in fact, what BeSt is going for. My English has gone out the window today. I'm guessing it's Christmas. Saint Nick did something to me. Shuttle now out, so we're gonna see what he does with that. Possibly taking down another expansion. Yeah, he is indeed gonna go for that Isle expansion at the 12 o'clock. So both players haven't really done anything aggressive. They're just being extremely economic at this point. Comm set going off there somewhere. And we're just going to have to sit here and wait for an engagement. 5th, 6th factory, and I think it might have even been a 7th as well, going down for HiyA. So both players in huge macro mode right now. Just going to macro up, get a bunch of armies going. They have 3 mining bases, both of them. BeSt just now slowly setting up his 4th. Yeah, it is 7 factories, in fact, going down for HiyA. So he's going to... We're going to both go heavy macro. Several vultures moving out there, possibly going to try to scout some positions out there. More gateways now, 4 more gateways, so it's 8 gateways at this point, I think, or even more. No, 10 gateways at this point for BeSt. So he's going full factor. An Arbiter Tribunal! Wow, so it is going to be Arbiters, just already high-tech, no aggressive action by either player so far, and just straight up tech. It's just, both players have completely left each other alone. 10th factory now coming up for HiyA. Both players have completely left each other alone at this point. Now Goliaths are in fact going seriously. He has read the Arbiter tech. That is, at some point, you could use Goliaths, and there's going to be some huge unit mix for both players. You're going to have Dragoons, Zealots, probably High Templar, and Arbiters for BeSt, and you're going to have tanks, Vultures, and Goliaths. And possibly even later on, Science Vessels for HiyA. Science Vessels are pretty useful when you're facing Arbiters. The EMP wave does its job pretty well. 12 o'clock, Island expansion has gone up for BeSt. Just as 1 probe mining there, but I'm sure he's going to build up for now. So at this point, I don't know. HiyA got his 3rd expansion up a bit earlier, but BeSt had his 2nd expansion up a bit earlier, and now he has his 4th expansion up a bit earlier. He has a larger force, I think, than HiyA, at least a little bit. And I don't think, though, at this point anybody has a real economic advantage yet. I think as soon as one of the players has harassed the economy or the forces of the other player, would really see who goes for the advantage, who gets an advantage. Because there have been no drops, nothing. There is a shuttle out, but it's not being used for any aggressive action, which I think is too bad. I think a storm drop or even just a Zealot drop will at least distract the other player and possibly do some Templar Archives, Stargate up, Forge upgrading, and units being popped out everywhere. Yes, I know that HiyA is in a rather good position to ward off any and all drops for shuttles, but I still think BeSt should be able to get in a shuttle down there. I think that shuttle is there, and probably did, some Zealots possibly did go inside the shuttle. HiyA now slightly moving out from his cooped up position that he had. He's not turtling anymore. He's going to meet BeSt forces right there, right at his exit. He's going to huge engagement here. Zealots running in, being Vultures blocking pretty well, but no, Zealots still managing to move in pretty close to the tanks. Tanks being taken out, Dragoons now moving in, doing a lot of attacks, a lot of tanks being blown up. Zealots just not being harassed, no mines were laid down before, so Zealots are just moving in, a bunch of tanks dying. The Vultures just not blocking pretty well. Dragoons now moving back though after the Zealots, after most of the Zealots died. Wow. Big loss, big loss there for HiyA. Lost a large amount of his tank forces. Unfortunately, the mines just weren't ready. The mines just weren't in place, and those Vultures that weren't doing as good a job of blocking his hand. And now HiyA has seen that Arbiter, and he is surprised. He is forcing to use his comsat stations to scan what's on his way, and he's forced to lay down a lot of mines. Those Goliaths are going to come in back. 5th expansion, 5th base, I'm sorry, coming up for BeSt. So BeSt is just going to quickly use this chance to expand again. BeSt is actually very good with his expansion timing. He's known for this. He's very good at this. Another engagement coming here. A bunch of Zealots flanking these tanks from 2 sides with Dragoons to support by BeSt. Very nice. Tanks get caught. Zealots still running in, getting caught by some mines, but still managing to do a lot of damage. Vultures finally coming out to block. They're also taking some shots, leaving the tanks open to fire, but the Vultures get taken down. Bunch of the Vultures get taken up, being pushed back. Mines all but so that the tanks do get taken down. More tanks moving in, but they're also going to be caught in a bad position and taken up with those Dragoons and the last siege tank. Wow, another engagement won by BeSt. Very important here. A lot of Dragoons still alive. A bunch of the Zealots still alive. Arbiters still out there flying overhead. These mines are going to be taken down. The Vultures are going to delay as long as they can. Oh, wow. HiyA has to set up a good position here. He has to set up a perimeter, and he actually has some units in the upper right-hand corner probably streaming in. There's probably Vultures streaming in to do some sort of damage to prevent BeSt from doing anything. There are mines there. They're going to meet those probes, but unfortunately mines don't do anything about the probes. But those vultures are going to meet those probes, and they're going to take out a lot of them. So yeah, a lot of Verkas get taken down before BeSt meets them with an Arbiter and does some damage. He can't move that way though because he doesn't have observers. He's forced to sacrifice a couple of zealots to those mines. Being careful about moving back those probes. Now again moving in to start mining from that expansion. So decent harass there by HiyA, but I think some of his vultures got caught. But you know, he killed I think half of those probes. Unfortunately those probes weren't already mining, so he didn't really stop any mining. So I think BeSt didn't really notice that too much because HiyA is only setting up his 4th base now, and it's a bit late. BeSt has already had a 4th base for a while. His 5th base now just started mining, probably anyway. And wow, what is it? 10 factories to 10 gateways. I think BeSt at this point might already have 12 gateways pumping units. Very nice. I should, yeah, 1-1 upgrade so far for HiyA, and I'm not sure where BeSt is in the upgrade wars. Just click a unit so I can find out. It won't click a unit, bastards. Okay, 2 weapons, 2 O's, 2 OOs. So yeah, BeSt going for pure weapon upgrades. Doesn't bother with armor. That's actually a pretty decent thing. Zealots and Dragoons are just much better to focus on their aggressiveness. Just give them a huge attack boost. Where HiyA is forced to mix up a little bit so he doesn't get taken out of squad. He has to also go for weapon upgrades. And he does have 2 armies, so he can do both at the same time, although I didn't see his second forge going down for BeSt, so I think he can only still upgrade one thing at a time, although I think at this point he might have already fixed that. Again, lots and lots of vultures taking down their own mines so they can push out properly, not being caught by some zealot bombs. HiyA has to, of course, try to force this as much as he can. Again, an engagement here. 2 arbiters with a bunch of zealots fighting. They're going to meet some vultures. Vultures are going to try to plant as many mines while they retreat as they can. Ooh, nice zealot bomb going there. A lot of explosions over. Nice stasis catches. Wow, 2 stasis going off. Catches a bunch of the vultures and a bunch of Goliaths. They're not going to be in trouble anymore. It doesn't catch any tanks, but the tanks are nowhere to be seen. Okay, caught 2 tanks. I'm blind. Catches now up the line, but BeSt moving in, did lose his Arbiter on the way, unfortunately, and stasis units are just blocking BeSt from moving in, so BeSt just foiled his own plans a little bit. Did do some serious damage, but unfortunately you can't attack stasis units, and stasis units become basically a wall, so he kind of neutralized those units, but at the same time made a wall. Excuse me. Wow. Okay, BeSt is of course not being very careful at all, putting down 7th expansion going down. The 6th just come down, just not started mining yet. HiyA at this point still at 3. I think he might have an expansion going up at the 5 o'clock, although I don't think he does. They haven't showed it. There are some white blimps there, although I don't know that it's an active expansion. I don't think it is at this point. So HiyA is in serious trouble. He has to push out. He has to get more expansions. He has to make sure those expansions don't get harassed, because the way BeSt is going, BeSt is in BeSt mode. BeSt is in doing right now what lets him keep that name, what lets him not be a cocky little bastard to have the name BeSt. Sure, he doesn't have any titles yet, but I think it is in his future. I don't think he'll be another Stork, or maybe even will be another Stork, but in that case, he'll still win a title eventually. Homicide going off, seeing what BeSt has in store here. BeSt could go for recall at this point. He has enough forces for it. He just pumps out a couple more arbiters, goes for recon, and now we have Dragoons moving in from